All right, here we go, and we are live. Hopefully, everybody's doing very well. Hopefully, we can figure out what's going on with my actual screen and be able to see if people can actually be able to see me. Hope everybody's doing very well. This is Travis with us from Carter Cow Capital, helping you fight for your financial freedom throughout the forex market. This is a Tuesday morning episode of Trade with Travis. Uh, what we end up talking about Nasdaq, what we end up talking about US 30, Bitcoin, Ethereum, any forex pair, oil, anything that you could be able to put your hands on. We try to be able to see we can be able to trade it here at Trade with Travis. So hopefully everybody's doing very well. I can see my screen. I just want to make sure that everybody else can be able to see my screen. I restarted my computer, did everything else like that, and we'll go from there. Arizona, can you see me? First off, can you see me? Please tell me that you can see me. Hey, I just need to know if I'm seen. Oh shit. Let's see. There we go. All right. Well, okay. I guess we're good. All right. Perfect. Oh man, I feel like I was in Trading View jail for a second. Um, Now, I hope everybody's doing very well. Let me go ahead and get through the disclaimer, and then I said we'll go ahead and go through everything. I'm not a CTA, so I'm not going to tell you whether to buy or to sell. What I'm going to do is teach you education, and from the education, you can be able to make your own informed decision. Now, understand that trading involves risk. It involves risk of being able to make money, also involves risk of being able to lose money. So please keep that in mind, and understand that past performance is not indicative of future results, which means that if you end up making money yesterday, it's not promised that you can end up making money today. So with that being said, let me hurry up and make sure that let's make sure that we can make sure that the red brand is able to see what we're doing. I'm going to do that real quick. Ain't going to take too much time. I do apologize about that, but legitimately, I just restarted my computer with all of my tabs and everything else gone. It took it off, um, and hopefully that kind of freed up everything. Maybe it was just my cache or something like that. Um, but in the midst of being able to do that, I mean, we had a great day yesterday. I had a great morning this morning. We still talked about those trades that we ended up getting into a little bit earlier. I want to say last week, or at least placing the trade in, and finally those trades end up hitting and going into profit. So if you end up making some money off of that, type in win or type in money or type in something else like that. Um, I just legitimately seen that US 30 just hit actual numbers when it came down to that as well. So gold time to sell. Agree with me. I'll take a look at it. We'll get right into the big three. Let me take a look at the economic calendar first to see if there's anything crazy. But I take a look at it. Let's see. So today, what we're going to end up seeing is President Lagarde speak at 11. We end up seeing the interest rate decision from the New Zealand dollar to come out. The interest rate decision from the Australian dollar came out last night. It actually ended up being 2.6. We end up saying that we were going to keep our eye out on that overall trade and see if there's anything was going to end up happening with that. Currently, right now, if that's a negative number, then it might end up being one of those situations, kind of like what Arizona ended up saying, that it might end up being a selling situation with the United States dollar, at least for a day. I'm not going to say long term, but maybe just for a day. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the big three, and that'll kind of let me know what's actually going on with everything and kind of putting all that stuff together. I see. Make sure that my good folks on YouTube can I mean, on the tube can be able to see me. There you go. Everybody can be able to see me. Um, let's see. Nope, nope, not that. Almost done. I'm sorry, everybody. Let's see. Okay, and here and okay. So here we go. United States dollar index. What has happened? Market ended up basically going down, basically hitting the 2 hour D extension. So the market has retraced on this overall movement, like what we kind of actually end up expecting. I do kind of expect that we're probably going to end up seeing like an evening star type of candlestick formation based off of this movement, just based off of the United States dollar being somewhat weak. So that will kind of go against. Um, let's see. At least we'll see you today. Uh, um, Now, keep this in mind. What I'm probably saying, or what I probably think is going to end up happening is this: market end up having this retracement. We've seen that on the weekly. We see it on the daily that it's starting to push down. We're getting close to the buy zone. We probably might end up having a retracement today. But even with that being said, I still think that the U.S. dollar is going to end up being weak, and I think that people are still going to end up perceiving it as being weak. Because they're going to perceive it as being weak, I don't think that being able to buy or being able to sell on gold will probably end up being the best thing as of yet. Now, 2 hour D extension has been hit, so that would kind of spell out that we could see some scalping movements on gold, which could potentially end up happening. But until the market actually ends up breaking that counter trend line break to the upside, then I wouldn't consider anything off of gold as of yet. Uh, with that being said, let's jump right into gold because I want to kind of prove myself to be correct, I guess, when it comes down to this point. Now, what has happened is this: we end up taking a look at a couple trades for this movement on gold as this market finally ended up breaking out of this consolidation. Now, remember, the consolidation was from 1685 to 2070. From there, based off of the daily market, last week sometime fell down, hit our take profit at 1639 and at 1615 respectively. So we are done with those trades. Since then, the market has rallied up to the upside and started pushing up very strongly. Now, this push up strongly is because of two separate reasons. One, because the United States dollar is going through a retracement phase, and two, because if you take a look at it, the Japanese yen and the Australian dollar has been beat up so much, you'll probably end up seeing that we probably might end up having a big push to the upside. Plus, it is October, so we probably might see a little bit more volatility when it comes down to movements on every pair for it being able to get pushed up to the upside. Type in a wire, yes, that makes sense. Now, with that being said, the question is, would you get into a sale right now at this particular point when it comes down to movement? That answer for me would be no. Uh, for me, that answer right now would be no. Now, keep this in mind. After this market is going through its 2 hour phase and starting to push back up, it only retraced and it hadn't even retraced down to the 23.6, which means that at 1718, I think that most trading will end up stopping. I think that most people will start looking at being able to sell it down to that area. So for people that are looking at being able to buy, we probably got a little bit more room, probably about another 10 more points before the market starts to really kind of tail off on this overall movement to the downside. So for me, I'm gonna stay out the way. Everything when it comes down to that movement. If you end up buying it earlier, congratulations. If you end up selling it, I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would feel comfortable on the selling movement. At least not yet. Wave three not yet completed. Exactly. So it still has a little bit more room, and typically wave three is the biggest wave that you end up having. So I'm going to stay away from that one. Let's take a look at what's happening with oil. We took a trade on oil last night to the upside. I'm hoping to be able to see that we're still somewhat good on that trade. Um, there we go. Yes, we are. All right. So uh, let's talk about what happened with gold. We ended up saying this earlier. One, we're in October. We're getting into the winter months. We're getting into the months where gasoline and oil and everything else like that are going to be very important to be able to heat up houses. All right. So from a common sense perspective, oil's going to end up going up anyway in price. So this is the time where I typically end up taking advantage of being able to trade oil because typically other times throughout the years, throughout the months, I don't get a great type of eye when it comes down to this overall movement. Just being honest. So take a look at it from a weekly perspective. Market was going down into a let me clear the screen real quick. Market was falling down in this downward channel. Finally, we're starting to see a little bit of an uptick. We're in the buy zone. This could be a transition trade to the upside, meaning that we should see that the weekly and daily are going to end up being pretty much in the same position, being in a buy zone, and people are going to start looking at being able to buy. Now, with that being said, from a daily perspective, the market had to break out of this. Downward channel to the upside, and if we could be able to get that, then I was interested in being able to buy. If you take a look at what ended up happening based off of the hourly was in consolidation for a little bit, finally ended up breaking out to the upside. Yesterday, I ended up calling out that I wanted to get in at 82.96. Once the market ended up breaking from there, placing a stop loss at 80.65. If you end up doing that currently right now, you should be up You should be up at this particular point, right around 13 to 14 points when it came down to that movement. I actually ended up getting in again at 83 at 83.92. Now the thing is, I don't know how many big pushes that we're going to end up seeing when it comes down to this movement. The reason why I'm kind of explaining it like that is because if you look at it, we go previously off the last few, actually off the last few days. Uh, we have about we have this large consolidation that ended up happening for 149 bars. I don't know what that was from September 15th all the way into September 26th. That consolidation was there, and then after that, we're going to run into another consolidation from that ended up happening on September 11th all the way to September 15th. So based off of that, I still think that the market is going to end up going bullish. It's just going to take a little bit more time for it to be able to keep on going up. Overall, I have two take profit positions. The first one is 86.40. The second one is 94.50. We talked about those last week as a way of being able to say, okay, well, if the market end up pushing up, where would it go? It will probably end up matching up with the right tip of this overall movement from this previous ABCD swing. So I think that it'll probably possibly get back up to 95 safely before being able to make a decision. I got a lot of stuff on this chart I can be able to erase at this particular point in time. I don't think that we're going down to 57 no time soon, but I keep that up. But there we go. I think the news today may make it jump. Evidently, I must not be saying the same news that you're talking about. Is that something on Forex Factory, everything? Is that something on Forex Factory that you're looking at? While we're here, let's talk about Bitcoin real quick. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on with that and get that out the way. And for the people that are watching live, for the first time watchers and everything else like that, once again, I appreciate y'all being able to pop in. Make sure that you end up saying, hey, don't be a stranger. We do this 2 times out of the day. We're actually building out a community Discord for this overall group. Obviously, there's a free portion of it. And obviously there's a premium portion of it. If you're interested in being able to learn a little bit more about that, you can be able to go to this link right here. But from a crypto perspective, market has been in consolidation from the natural support at 18,240 all the way up to 25,000 when it comes down to that movement. It has hit support multiple times at this particular portion, and typically October is the time when you end up seeing Bitcoin actually end up making this push up to the upside as well. So from a weekly perspective, we can see that obviously there was a downward D extension that I thought that we could be able to hit, or that we end up hitting, which was at 25,000. Since then, let me get that. Since then, the market has been in consolidation. Everybody knows my feelings when it comes down to consolidation. I do not like trading inside of consolidation. That's not my thing, unless you can be able to buy that support or sell it at resistance. Well, it's an expectation that I feel like the market will end up going to the upside. So I wish I could have got it at 18,240 when the market was down there. I did not place an pending order at this particular point. So what I would end up doing and saying is I would kind of hope if I can be able to get a lower number, I would look at being able to get in. But currently, if you're just trading this space off of equity and not a long-term hold, I would not do anything off of it yet. There's no move to be able to take off of Bitcoin yet, which means that more than likely, we take a look at Ethereum, there's probably no move off of it yet either. Ethereum, last time we ended up taking a look at that, why do I have that as a large? Okay, get rid of that. What is going on? Oh, okay. Last time I ended up taking a look at Ethereum, I ended up saying that there was a downside chance that the market could fall all the way down to 720. Currently, right now, the market has broken underneath the counter trend line break again. Hold on. Say good morning. There we go. So, essentially, what I'm looking at on this one as well is starting to see a slight consolidation. Okay, this is a lot of jumbled up movement. Let me clean up this chart a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, he woke up. He woke up early this morning. like I woke up at 4 this morning. I think he was up with me. Market went to the 618. There's an expectation that the market could fall down to 720. Now we're in a push phase to the downside. Typically, cryptocurrency doesn't necessarily go with Fibonacci's as much. There's still a chance that the market could continue to move to the downside. I am not going to end up doing anything off of Ethereum as of yet either. I'm just going to wait and kind of see what's going on with that one. Uh, yeah, I don't like what I see. At least not yet. Don't like what I see on that one. So I hold off. I'll hold off on that one. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the major ones that we end up talking about. All right, so first off, we'll go ahead and take a look at US 30. US 30's trade that we end up taking earlier today has almost completed the extension. Quite frankly, it did complete the extension in my phase. It ended up hitting 2009, 2009,994. We end up getting out of 2000. We end up getting out of 30,000. Uh, my trap points actually ended up hitting it when it came down to this position. So legitimately, what ended up happening was that we end up having this is the second time that we end up doing it. We end up having a 1,000 point win, 1,000 point gain. If you end up hitting off of both of these trades from this buy trade that we end up having last night or yesterday, in which I'm super pissed off that nobody could be able to catch this with us while we end up talking about this earlier yesterday. If you was inside of the Discord, you end up catching it. But this was the trade that I was talking about all week for us being able to get in. We talked about it on a Friday, having an opportunity to see the market kind of push up. It kind of rejected off, kind of closed us out on that trade. So that trade turned into a loss. Actually, this trade turned into a loss as well. But when we caught it and the market basically U-turned back, we ended up catching it at 29,920 or 28,920. Got into it again at 29,100, and then got into it again at 29,400. Rode it all the way up to 29,740 as take profit two. That third trade that we end up entering when the market actually end up giving us that large pop, we end up talking about getting in on August 29th. When the market ended up breaking above 29,740, we end up riding that all the way up to basically to 30,000. It went to 29,995. 29,995 was very good enough for me to end up taking profit off of it. So if you end up making that movement, legitimately you bought it up to support. This was strategy 4 off of this movement. Congratulations when it comes down. Everybody ended up taking that move. It was a bold move, but it was somewhat expected. And we kind of see everything happen when it comes down to that movement. Everything. I take a look at pound Swiss franc. As soon as I end up getting through, let me get through DAX and US 30. Let me get through both of those, and I'll go right to it. Let's see. So German 40. German 40 has been pretty much the darling of the year when it comes down to movements. I'm just going to talk about the trade that we end up taking, not necessarily what actually ended up going on all the way through. So same deal. End up having a sell order that ended up getting placed in, expecting that the market could go to 11,400. Loss on that trade. End up having a buy trade off of this one. Stop loss ended up getting kicked out. Actually, I did not ride the wave while the market was inside of the actual movement, but did catch the trade when the market ended up popping out. We talked about this last night when the market was at 29,330. End up saying that there could be an opportunity to be able to jump in, but we end up having that trade that was still out there, that pending buy order that we end up placing in on September 29th, pretty much the same day that we end up taking that US 30 trade, where it was at 12,350, where we wanted to be able to get in and wanted to be able to get out at 12,509. Since then, the market has exploded through both of those numbers, hit take profit, and kind of move forward from there. So once again, you end up taking those trades. Congratulations when it came down to that movement. This was a large swing starting off October. There was a 700 point move. I wish we could have made it. I wish we could have probably pushed the stop loss on this one a little bit lower and could have stayed in this trade on the first initial one. But sometimes that just doesn't happen. We end up catching one. The market end up breaking out to the upside. It's still a vortex area. End up making movement based off of that overall point. We've been talking about this pretty much all summer. I I don't know how many times I can sit up there and just keep on proving to y'all that this strategy truly works. Or if you're able to be patient enough and actually be able to spot out where these low volume node areas are. Um, Legitimately, we end up catching it right within that overall point. Now we can see that the market's kind of retracing a little bit. So really no trade as of yet to be able to do when it comes down to that movement, but made money off of that movement nevertheless towards the upside. Didn't get all of it, but got some of it. That's all that matters when it comes down to that movement. Let's take a look at Nas 100. Nas 100, I don't think I made a move off of it. I know I didn't make a move off of it. Let me rephrase it by saying that. Um, but we can go through and take a look at what's happening. Um, Nas is getting close to being able to break out. Actually, Nas will be the last trade to actually break out on this end if that does happen. Um, yeah, if that does happen, I do have a pending order at 11,495, trying to go up to 11,700. Now, me personally, I would not want to take this trade as of yet right now. Uh, Reason being is because we just seen all this big movement to the upside. If there's going to be that large of a movement to the upside, I'd rather the market retrace first before being able to push back up. Currently, right now, that trade at 11,500 has not been fulfilled yet. Currently, the market is at 11,465. I would hope that the market retraces a little bit before actually being able to pop back up and being able to make a movement. So currently, right now, nothing to be able to do on that one. XPX 500, XPX 500, and that'll be all of the indexes. We're actually in a buy trade currently at this point. End up taking a trade where we're going after 3760. We end up taking an order right when the market ended up breaking out at 3721. We end up placing in this trade on the 29th as well. Go figure. Currently, the market is retracing a little bit. I think it actually ended up hitting the top of. It did hit resistance. I'm actually going to exit out of that trade. I'm going to go ahead and take profit on XPX 500. So just capitalized on that movement as well. I'll look for a retracement to be able to see if we can be able to catch that movement again. Remember, the big movement on this one to 38 to 38.30 to the upside. I would look for a counter trend line break, look for a counter for a retracement when it comes down to that movement. If we can be able to get that, then I'll be interested in being able to take a movement, take a trade off of that one. Currently, right now, uh, obviously, you can see on all of these had strong rallies and being able to break up to the upside. It was finally ready to move after a 10-day consolidation. So it's really nothing to be able to do off of that one yet. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at pound Swiss franc. If there's no other trades from people looking online, we will go ahead and cancel it out or call out today when it comes down to that movement. But if there is some that people would like to be able to take a look at, please place it inside of the chat box, whether if it's YouTube, Discord, or TradingView. Please make sure that y'all in there placing it inside of the chat box. I got a few more minutes left before I have to get out of here. Let's see. We'll take a look at pound Swiss franc. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Gold collapse. Okay. Let's go back to gold real quick and let's see if something actually ended up happening. Fatty, what's going on? Hope everything's going well with you. That is right. It is afternoon for y'all. Hey, Fatty, answer this question. Did you catch that? I know that you ended up joining Discord. Did you catch that trade on US 30 that I ended up posting out? Or did you get the one from the 29th that I ended up talking about? Arizona, to answer your question, simply put, the reason why the market has retraced off of gold is because that 80-20 rule once again. Market did not retrace to the 382. Because the market did not retrace to the 382, it ended up rejecting off of the 127. So that's not surprising to me. So two things: market could fall down to the B, or the market could fall down to the 382. It probably might fall down to the B and try to push up first, but before then after that, we'll go from there. No, I didn't. Missed it last night. I actually called out that trade in the morning. Um, that's when I found out that everything was not working. What's going on, Peter? Peter, I think you probably sent the note to the guys over in the service desk helping me out before it's being able to actually be seen. uh, VJKC near UST. I take a look at that one as well. Let's take a look at. I got to finish up on pound Swiss franc real quick. I did say that I was going to take a look at that one. Everything's good. Everything's good from here. Um, just want to be able. Wow. Okay. What happened right there? Fell almost down to parity. Okay. Cool. Let's take a look at that. I swear, Swiss franc just been uh, kicking the pound's ass, hasn't it? Jeez. So, all right. So, even with that being said, there's a chance that it could fall down to 90 cents when it comes down to that movement. That's kind of scary if we're looking at how far it actually ended up coming from. Uh, from a weekly perspective, the extension based off of that movement could be able to push down. Now, everything answer this question: are you looking at buying or selling? Market is in the buy zone when it comes down to this movement. There is a downward channel that has been kind of playing off uh, when it comes down to this movement overall. I don't know if people can actually notice that or actually see that overall. There has been a downward channel that has been kind of playing off when it comes down to this movement. Uh, there's a good chance that the market could potentially keep on going to the downside, but that is what I'm looking at right here. Uh, from a daily perspective, look at that. This fell and bop right back off of it. Um, let's see. Let's see if I can hurry up and get something off of this. So the question would be, simply put, there we go. Thank you. GJ, GU, GC, all have been uptrend last week. Okay, so is that based off of just a retracement, or is that based off of good news from the pounds? That would be my question. If that are we looking at a resurgence of the pound, or are we just looking at this as a slight retracement? Because if that's happening, then the eurozone should be popping up as well. Market ended up hitting a D extension based off of this movement. If I'm looking at this done, if I'm looking at this correctly, um, yes, it did. Market ended up hitting a D extension based off of this movement, right around 106.19. Since then, uh, yeah, all is controlled. I'm looking for a retracement. The retracement, the retracement is probably going to have to happen for a few days at least before being able to see this movement kind of pop right back down to the downside. Obviously, we're talking about that channel that we end up seeing. It was, uh, yeah, this is an ugly chart. If I'm being very honest, I'm going to pass on that one. Uh, only thing that I will say is this: market ended up bouncing off of the natural support. We can see that that actually ended up happening. Um, yeah, it's not the cleanest of charts. Here, here, went back up to the upside. Uh, went back up to the upside. Had a consolidate. Yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't do anything with that. Yeah, I wouldn't do anything with that. Yesterday on my channel, I predicted double bottom buy euro United States dollar. See where it is now. I got to take a look at one more. I got to take a look at one more trade before we do that. I told my guy VJ that we end up taking a look at near USDT. we'll get through that one real quick, and then after that, we'll take a look at Euro United States dollar. And that'll be the last one that I have to do because I do have to go ahead and get out of here. Let's see. Weekly, looking at cryptocurrency on a weekly is a dumb idea, but we'll take a look at it. We'll do it just like how we do it anyway. Go to the daily. Keep in mind, all right, this is what we know. Bitcoin is in consolidation from 18,000, I think it's 18,240 up to 25,000. So both of them are naturally hitting support right now at this particular point. If that is happening, then we probably might see the same thing happening between all of these other pairs. Here is your consolidation. Here's your high volume node consolidation point at this particular point. There goes your high volume node. Natural support I have at 3.03. Natural resistance I have at 6.0 at this particular point. So what does that mean? That's from a daily perspective. From a hourly and a 15-minute perspective, obviously we got to take a look and see what's happening inside of these overall zones to be able to kind of truly understand what's happening. So I'm going to start off on an hourly. Okay, so simply put, this is what happened. Consolidation right here. Retest out that movement, breakout to right here. Breakout to right there. Slight consolidation again, just very hesitant. Large drop down into this high volume node right there. Low volume node right there. Consolidation pick right back up. We end up having a longer scale consolidation between here to here. Failed and broke down to the bottom, but it did not really make a solid move, but it ended up popping back up. There we go. Take it easy, Arizona. You have a good one. Market pushed back up, went back into consolidation, which extends out this consolidation to here. Finally ended up breaking up to the upside. Up to here. Going to try to get through this as fast as possible. All right, consolidation, consolidation, consolidation. Okay. Here to here. That's your movement. Took a while, but got there. And currently right now we are right here. All right, so VJ, what I will end up saying is this: so we end up taking a look at this movement. Obviously, we end up having a large scale. We end up having a large scale movement to the downside. There's a consolidation portion at 3.452, which would be the support. The resistance will end up being 3.621. If it breaks out at 3.621, then it has a chance of being able to push up past 3.621 up to 3.740. 3.749. That will be the area where I'll look at being able to get in if the market ends up breaking out of that area. If it does not break out of that area and stays inside of the consolidation, there's no trade to be able to take. But that will be the first move when it comes down to the upside. The market moves to the downside. If the market moves to the downside, then obviously we got to go back to the daily and take a look at that movement to where it could potentially end up going, where the natural support was at 3.09. Okay, so that is where we're at when it comes down to that movement. I'm going to erase the daily consolidation because that kind of messed me up when it comes down to that movement. But overall, buy a trade if you're looking at doing this, not necessarily as a long-term hold. We end up being at 3.620, buying it up to 3.740 and being able to get out. All right, there you go. Hopefully that made sense. Last trade, Euro United States dollar. We'll get into that one. Then after that, I got to get out of here. Fatty ended up talking about a double bottom when it came down to this movement, meaning that there was bullish opportunity once the market ended up dropping. So this is where we are at currently right here at this particular point. Weekly D extension just got completed at 96.40. Yes, that would make sense. It's a transition trade now. Fatic, at this particular point, I will look at buying on the on the Eurozone. I'm talking about for the next couple months at this particular point based off of this. I'm just starting off by saying that just as a mindset perspective. We take a look at the weekly. Let's see. Okay, weekly already hit the daily D extension. There's a retracement. We're in an R5 trade. Not a fractal low yet, but more than likely there will be some continuation of the movement. We take a look at it from a daily perspective. We can start seeing that market basically end up giving us that bullish engulfing candlestick, which probably showed where the double bottom actually was. So when I focus in on that area right there, that's probably where the double bottom actually was. And then after that, probably end up having a pop up to the upside. 1 hour consolidation. There goes your W pattern right here. Here, boom, bam, boom. All right, there it is. Market ended up popping out of this area, retested, and then after that started to push up again, which made the true consolidation be from here to there. Since then, the market has popped up to the upside. Now, question would be, where is it going? And what's the potential chances of being able to make some type of movement to the top side? The extension just got hit at 98, 96 for a retracement. So at this particular point, Fatty, if you're in, I would probably look at taking a partial profit off of that movement, and then after that, look for the next wave of this market making a new fee up off of it. Currently, right now, I will not continue looking at being able to buy. I'll wait for a retracement today. I think that for early mornings, well, at least the early portion of this morning, we're probably going to see a little bit of retracement on every pair, and then after that, you'll start seeing that people will start trying to get back into the movements that have been happening, the retracements of the United States dollar, and obviously the little bit of strength of the Eurozone and the pound at this particular point. You like what I end up doing? Please make sure that you end up clicking on that boost button. Please make sure that you end up joining us inside of our community Discord page. Just open that up actually on October 1st. Have a free section over there where we end up having everybody jump into the free access resource material area where you end up getting ebooks and indicators and ebooks, some technical stuff, some actual videos, some equity management stuff, and everything else like that you can be able to hop into. And then after that, we have a premium section where you can be able to get free expert advisors and free indicators and everything else like that. If you end up joining the elite, and also way more analysis than what we end up doing here within that overall package as well. If you want to learn a little bit more information about that, please make sure that you end up private messaging me. But everyone that's inside of this group, obviously you're a part of the Trade with Travis community. Thank you for being able to pop in. I do appreciate everything. Make sure that you end up popping inside and getting your free access to that overall group for us being able to do that. Really trying to build that out. Once again, really trying to make it to where everyone can be able to win based off these movements. Like always, make sure that you end up planning your trade, trading your plan. Everyone, y'all have a good one.